Hi everyone, Candace here with Crafting Elegance and Paper Crafting Elegance on Instagram. And I am coming on today to share with you my week 4 project for the Christmas in July 2020 PHA challenge hosted by Kristiannes Crafty Adventures. So for week 4, we were to create either a December daily, a traveler's notebook, a mini album, memory dex cards, or do some kind of gift packaging. So for this week, I decided to create a December daily, but do it memory dex style. So here are all 25 memory dex cards that I created as my December daily. And I am going to come on here to share with you each one of the cards that I created. So for my December daily, I am using the Doodlebug Christmas Magic collection. And I am using some of the 12x12 paper, some of the 6x6 paper, the Chit Chat, some of the stamps from the collection, some of the cut aparts, stickers, and I also purchased some SVG files. For the Memory Dex box here, I also created that using some of the 12x12 paper from the collection. And I used a tutorial from a YouTuber that I will link the tutorial in my description box below. So let's go ahead and get started. So for the first memory dex card here, I am showcasing some of the Chit Chat for the season's greeting sentiment here. I popped that up onto a rosette that I created from rosette die from AliExpress. I've got some eyelash trim here for a little bit of shimmer and shine, and that's all layered on top of a scallop circle that I created using one of my dies from Queen & Co. And to add a little bit of embellishment to the card, I also added one of my paperclip embellishments that I created in week 2. Now for my memory dex cards here, I am using the Heidi Swap memory dex dies to create all of the cards. So this is card 1. For card 2, I'm using my favorite Lawn Fawn stitched gingerbread die. That die looks like this here. This die lets you make 2 different size gingerbreads, and you can add all the extra embellishments to him. I pretty much took the inspiration from the card from week 3, and that card looks like this here, to create the memory dex card. I'm using some of the 6x6 paper from the collection, as well as some of the doodle sprinkles. For card number 3, I am using an SVG file from the collection. I took inspiration for this memory dex card from a card I created from week 3, and that card looks like this. The SVG file I used is from the Silhouette store. It was a bit of a labor of love to put together all these layers. It is layered and popped up on 3-dimensional foam. And I did use some glossy accents on the candy canes for a little bit of shimmer. And for the snow that I created here as a second layer, I am using my Lawn Fawn Stitch Hillside Borders die. And that looks like this. I love this die. And I am using some pattern paper from Bo Bunny. It's some of their tone-on-tone paper that I thought matched really well with this collection. So that's card number 3. For card number 4, I am using one of the embellishment clusters that I created in week 1. You can check out that video for my embellishment clusters and my embellishments that I made for week 1 on my Instagram channel at Paper Crafting Elegance. And on this card, I'm also using some of the 12x12 paper as well as some of the 6x6 paper and one of the Chit Chats. And it's pretty layered as well. So for card number 5, I'm using another Chit Chat piece from the collection. I popped this up a little bit with some foam tape onto some 12x12 paper, and I added another one of my paperclip embellishments I created in week 2 to give some more pizzazz to this card. So for card number 6, I am using one of the dies from Cat Scrappiness. I love this little layered tree, and that die looks like this. It's really fun. You can layer a lot. It comes with a couple extra embellishments. And I'm using some of the icon stickers from the icon sticker sheet. And the Santa comes from the Chit Chat. And again, I'm using some of the 12 by 12 paper. Now, all of the backs of the Memory Dex cards are blank at this time, but they're ready for me to either add a photo, add some journaling when it comes time for the holiday. So the December Daily is all set and ready to go for me to start crafting in December. For Memory Dex card number 7, I'm using one of the SVG files. This is one of the Elf and Presents SVG. I'm also using some of the Chit Chat here for the sentiment, which I thought was pretty fitting. And I'm using some of the 12 by 12 paper. For card number 8, this is using my hot cocoa die from My Favorite Things. That die set looks like this. Comes with the 2 coffee cups or cocoa cups, as well as some marshmallows and chocolates. I thought it was pretty fitting. I added here some snowflake dies from Tim Holtz, and then I've added on some of the Chit Chat. This paper here is also from Bo Bunny, and I thought it matched the collection pretty well. For card number 10, I am using another SVG file. This one is the Elf and Christmas Cake. I took inspiration for this card using a card from week 3. And this is what the card looks like. And for this Memory Dex, I also added one of my paperclip embellishments that I created. The sentiment here is from Lawn Fawn, along with the banner. For card number 12, I think that's what this one is. Nope, it's 10. That was 9. This is 10. This Memory Dex card is using some dies that I had from my stash. It's an older set from Stampin' Up! That set looks like this. It's holiday ornaments. It comes as layers to create these ornaments here. And I just used some of the Bo Bunny paper again, as well as some of the 12 by 12 paper from the collection. And I added some enamel dots for some dimension on there as well. And this December 25th comes from a Pebbles stamp set that I picked up from Tuesday morning. I believe this is Memory Dex card number 12. No, number 11. I can't count, guys. So for Memory Dex number 11, I am using one of the embellishment clusters that I created from week 1. So this is using some of the stickers from the icon sticker sheet. And I layered it onto some dies from Spellbinders. This is my Labels 9 die. I popped this up. I've added some eyelash trim, a few of the doodle sprinkles, and a sentiment from the Chit Chat. And this is using some of the 12 by 12 paper as well as the 6 by 6 paper from the collection. So this is Memory Dex card number 12. And this one is using a die from Queen & Co. The little mixer and bowls come from Queen & Co. It is more of a shaker set. And that set looks like this. I did not create a shaker on this card. I did want to just layer the bowls together. And then on the mixer, I just used some cut aparts from the 12 by 12 paper, and I used some stickers from the icon sticker sheet. The milk and cookie sentiment is from the Chit Chat, and the background paper is the 6 by 6 paper pad from the collection. So Memory Dex card number 13. I love this one. This is using the SVG from the Santa Claus from the collection. And I got inspiration for this one from a card from week 3, and that card looks like this. I pretty much used the Santa head, but I just took off his body here. And it kind of matched really well with the paper. I'm using some of the 12 by 12 paper here and a sentiment from the Chit Chat. And he's popped up on foam as well. And I used some of my Copic markers to color in his skin because I didn't really have any paper that would be that color. So Memory Dex card number 14 is using that Cat Scrappiness tree die again, which I love. It's also using the Sentiment Believe from MFT, and I'm using one of the cut aparts from the collection. I just popped that Santa up onto a scallop circle and then popped that up with some foam tape and I'm using some of the 12 by 12 paper. For Memory Dex card number 15, I'm using an SVG file from the collection. I really love the elf on the reindeer, and sleigh ride is very fitting for this card. And I'm using some of the 6 by 6 pattern paper. For Memory Dex number 16, I'm using some of the stickers from the Icon sticker sheet. I'm also using one of my embellishment paper clips I created. I layered this piece onto a stitch rectangle from Lawn Fawn, as well as a tag from my stash and a doily here in the back. This doily is also from Doodlebug. And then I'm using some of the 12 by 12 paper, and some of the stars are coming from the sticker sheet. Memory Dex number 17 is one of my favorites. This is another SVG file from the collection. This is the Cocoa and Candy Cane SVG. I'm also using a cut apart from the collection. This card was inspired by a card I created for week 3, and that card looks like this. The sentiment on this card comes from Avery L. The stamp set is called Fa La 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 La, or Fa La La. It's 'Tis the Season, and I stamped this and embossed it with some white embossing powder. And again, I popped these all up with some foam tape and embellished it with a few doodle sprinkles. I think this is Memory Dex number 18. Yes, this one is using a shaker die from Paper Tray Ink. That die looks like this. I think it is now since retired, but it is a layered ornament die that I really like. So you can create the ornament as well as layer for the top. I'm also using one of the bows that I created from my embellishments from week 1, and I backed this onto some 12 by 12 pattern paper. For card number 19, I'm using another Lawn Fawn die. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of this one. It did come out last year, and it does have a way for you to embellish it with either Christmas decorations or Halloween. And I just went ahead and created this little gingerbread kind of coming out of the door saying greetings. And then I've added some glittery snowflakes onto the card, and these snowflakes are from a Tim Holtz die, and I'm using some of the 12 by 12 pattern paper. Memory Dex card number 20, I believe. Yes, that's what this one is. I really love this one. I love using this die for the apron. I use it all the time. It is an Elizabeth Craft Designs die, and that die looks like this one here. I've used this, and all of the accessories like the rolling pin and so forth also come from Elizabeth Craft Designs. The sentiment here is from My Creative Time, and as well as the cookies. It comes together as a set, and this set is called Bake with Love. So this is what the stamp set looks like, and then the dies for the cookies are on the back. Really love this die because I always kind of make this apron at Christmas time, and I kind of always make it look like Mrs. Claus. For Memory Dex card number 21, I am using another SVG file from the collection. This one I'm using 2 files. I'm using the tree file as well as the elf and ornament. The tree is filled with a little bit of glossy accents to give it a little bit of shimmer and shine. It was a bit of a labor of love to put each one of those little branches onto the tree and leaves. And then I'm also using some of the 12 by 12 paper and the sentiment from the Chit Chat. Card number 22 is using an SVG file from the collection. This is Mrs. Claus. I again created her just like Santa, where I just only used the head. I colored her in with my Copic markers to give her that skin tone look. And I popped her up on a rosette so she's nice and chunky here. And then I'm using a sentiment from the Chit Chat. Card number 23 is using some of the stickers from the sticker sheet. I just popped these up onto 2 stitched rectangle dies from Lawn Fawn. I've added some enamel dots to give it a little bit of dimension here. And the sentiment is from the Chit Chat. Card number 24 is another SVG file from the collection. This is using the Santa stocking and using a cluster from the gingerbreads. I did add some glossy accents onto the candies to give them a little shimmer and shine. The paper is 12 by 12. And also the sentiment here is from the Chit Chat. And and the last Memory Dex card that I have here, number 25. I am using my favorite die from my creative time. This is the Sweet Candy Cane die. And I'm also using my other favorite die, which is the December 25th. This candy cane die is a layered die. I use it all the time, and it looks like this here, as well as the December 25th, and it's from my creative time. And I added one of the glittery snowflakes from the Tim Holtz collection. And then I added some of the enamel dots. And there you go, guys. These are all 25 of the Memory Dex cards that I created for my December Daily Memory Dex style. Now for the box, as I mentioned before, I did create this box using a tutorial from a YouTuber that I have her link below. This Dex box is really sturdy. Is really sturdy here. And to create the mechanism for this Memory Dex, I've just added some straws. I have not glued them down in here because I wanted to be able to move them around first before I finish it. But it's real easy. I've just added some straws here. And then for a little bit of decoration, I've added a bow. This bow comes from Pink and Main. It's the Pink and Main medium-sized bow. And so this is a box. I thought it was really cute. The project came together pretty easy. I will say it was a little bit of a labor of love to create all 25 Memory Dex cards, but it was really a lot of fun to do. So thank you all for joining me today. Hope you found some inspiration from my projects. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please go ahead and subscribe to my my channel. If you like to follow me on Instagram, please do that as well. I am Paper Crafting Elegance on Instagram. And again, thank you all for joining me. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.